All right, we should be live. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vase. As promised, streaming live right in front of the salt bathhouse that is in the thumbnail. If I grab the camera and I slide it over and pull it up, there it is. Let me grab the tripod. It's right there. I couldn't grab a seat to literally be in front of it. Visited by Pushkin back in the day. It's really cool behind us. You can see my top of my head too, but right there, there's like a stream. This is really like old city, and it's really cool. If you're walking around. All right, and I am joined by the one and only Gordon Einstein. Should be the only Gordon Einstein around, right? I'm sure you've seen him from the Law Show. You've been on 1 or 2 episodes?
I think 1.5.
1.5. That's it. And it was so ironic that we're both here in Belize, of all the places, man. And spending the day here, and you're speaking tomorrow at the University of Georgia event. There's like 2 crypto events going on in Belize. I didn't even like check. I'm like, of all the cities in the world, why would there be Bitcoin events here? And here we are. So we'll go check that out as well. So yesterday you did a meetup and you spoke about Libra.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about it from the legal perspective.
So I think Libra is really interesting. And just first of all, happy to see you here.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Let me get that little social bit in there. It's neat running. I mean, crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin is a global community. I mean, it really is. And everywhere you go, there's interesting people. When fortuitous chance just seems to happen. Regarding Libra, I think Libra is extremely interesting. Now, I always take care to make clear that I'm not an advocate for Libra and I'm not someone who's against Libra. I think Libra is interesting because of what it says about central banking in general, national sovereignty and money transmitter regulation, both inside a country and outside of a country. It's leading into a world of where we used to have just fiat. Then came Bitcoin and sort of these autonomous cryptocurrencies. Now we're heading into this interesting world of corporate or consortium or feudalistic crypto. And these 3 positions, the traditional fiat, the autonomous like Bitcoin, and this kind of corporate crypto, they're all shining flashlights at each other and are useful for explaining each other. So as you mentioned, we had that meetup yesterday or workshop. It was pretty well attended and things got a little heated there.
So some people are very upset at the fact that Libra even exists. They think it somehow endangers Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess point number 1 is it doesn't exist yet. It's been proposed by Facebook through its subsidiary Libra, and Libra is just one member out of several members of this sort of incipient Libra association that's going to be or is based in Geneva, Switzerland. I can't seem to get a straight answer about whether this thing actually exists yet, whether it's just a bunch of letters of intent and they're negotiating a charter. So there's reason to be upset. I think there's reason to be upset about Libra if you're the Federal Reserve in the United States or the European Central Bank. There's reason to be upset about Libra if you are a Bitcoin maximalist. But the point you and I have discussed, and we've gone back and forth on this, is Bitcoin hasn't yet become a useful medium of exchange for most people in daily life. And maybe that will happen, but if it's going to happen, it's happened maybe slower than people are expecting. Libra, I think, accelerated the crypto conversation by about 5 or 10 years. And now it's just amazing. I mean, the US government and the European Central Bank are forced to acknowledge that the problems Libra is addressing is true, that crypto is going to happen whether they like it or not. It's just wild.
And it was really interesting in your presentation. You had a graphic of 4 of the biggest Facebook users. And the US was number 2. The US wasn't even number 1. And the next
India's number 1.
India was number 1, and by a wide margin. Like over, I believe, if my memory serves me right, about 150 million people in the US are using Facebook, which is about half the country, and 270 million people are using it in India. And then I think at the end of the top 10, that's when another developed country shows up, and that's the UK. So all the countries in between, Indonesia, I think, was number 3. The Philippines was there. Thailand was there. Egypt was there. Turkey was there. And
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil was there. And then eventually you get to the UK. And this is where Libra, the currency, has a major advantage, because if the people of those developing countries trust the Libra, the stability of the stability, like price stability, and acceptance of the Libra token more than their government currencies, then everyone in India could start using Libra
They could.
through their Facebook accounts, and then India is probably going to end up banning Facebook.
I mean, there's been different receptions to Libra all around the world. The US, of course, and the EU have come out strongly, either saying don't do it, or pause, or slow down, or change your plans. It's just been a reaction of nervousness. But those are the countries or areas, in the case of the EU, that have some kind of common market, strong currency. Their house in relative order. When you talk about the global South in general, take an extreme like Venezuela, they don't have their monetary system in order. They don't have their central bank in order. They don't have their currency in order. And if I'm a citizen or resident of those countries, especially if I'm a refugee or a stateless person, Libra can be a godsend. It's a way to do an end run around.
Yeah, that's right. You can
bad
move all your
regulation.
money into Libra and then migrate.
Yeah.
So it does create an interesting use case, but we all know it's not going to be censorship resistant. We all know it's not going to be unconfiscatable, and they're not going to have the kind of gold-like monetary policy, because they should be able to print as much Libra as they like.
Okay, so it won't be those things, but I think let's talk about them. The unconfiscatable, you're an advocate, you're a Bitcoin maximalist, and actually I am too. But I think that Bitcoin hasn't yet become the thing that everyone uses. The unconfiscatable nature of it is something I think you and I both like, but I want to confiscate from a terrorist. I want to confiscate from someone who's not paying legitimate taxes. I want to confiscate if people, breach contract and you need to enforce it. And barring a smart contract manner of doing that, you need to rely on some kind of legal process, at least until smart contracts or AI or oracles get good enough to handle those, exceptions. And so for something to get adopted globally and have governmental support, or at least not have the government kill it, it needs to have qualities that you and I are nervous about. Okay, I'm not thrilled by the fact that you can confiscate Libra, but the fact that you can confiscate it makes it possible that the US and the EU may not try to completely kill it.
True, and the difference is they could kill it, but they can't kill Bitcoin.
It's very hard to kill Bitcoin. I'm not sure that
Right.
China couldn't kill Bitcoin because maybe with the 51% attack or their own fork. It's very difficult to kill Bitcoin. And as came up yesterday with the Binance hack, when they want to roll back to correct the blockchain, as I said, that was like one of the stupidest ideas known to humanity, to think that they could even try. And actually the fact that they put that out there and then got shouted down was a testament to the maturity and decentralization of Bitcoin. I would say also, though, Libra is reasonably censorship resistant because, and it depends how you look at this, somewhat like EOS, there are large validators operating by rules, sharing a database, and it's not casually reversible. It's reversible, but it's not casually reversible. And maybe you want it to be reversible. I mean, just think of the situation when North Korean hackers broke into the Bangladesh bank and siphoned off all those hundreds of millions of dollars through a buggy printer, I would want to be able to reverse that personally.
There's a comment here. Good luck, Libra, dealing with the SEC. Libra wouldn't have to deal with the SEC.
Yeah. So
the Libra, the security side, the Libra's gonna have like two tokens. There'll be like a security token, and there's Libra the currency. Libra the currency would not have to deal with the SEC. Libra the security token would get SEC approval.
Well, let's go through that. So there's, like you mentioned, there's two tokens. There's the Libra investment token, which is being offered privately to Libra Association members only. That's like Visa, MasterCard, Coinbase, eBay, large corporate buyers. They will almost certainly buy their Libra investment tokens pursuant to an exemption from the registration requirement under Section 5 of the Securities Act of 33. So that won't need to be registered, and that does not require SEC approval. You do not need SEC approval when you do a Reg D exempt offering, especially of this sort. The Libra currency token is almost certainly not a security. It is what's meant to be a stable or low volatility token that you wouldn't really have an expectation of profit when you buy it. And in fact, they're going to be keeping within band. Like Tether is not a security because it's tied to the US dollar. It has a stable value.
Different issues, but not an SEC
Yeah,
issue.
well, we talked about this at length. I'm not saying Tether's great or Tether has $1 for each Tether.
Yeah.
But when something is
But
a
SEC
true
is not
stable
involved.
coin, they're not involved. It's perhaps the CFTC, perhaps FinCEN, but it's not the SEC. Now, if you have derivatives or contracts based on Libra, then you're going to maybe head into CFTC territory, but you're going to not be in the SEC.
All right. Probably it's time to do some price because we want to go back in case you guys are wondering why we're wearing robes. That is because they have like two heated pools in there. So you can see it. Actually, I can't see what I'm showing you guys. So you can see it right there. That's the it doesn't have any background, so we're just and even better scenery is right behind me there, right down there. Really, really cool. We're gonna go walk around there after. We still got a few more hours in there, and then I'm gonna go find some good Georgian food, like we always do. All right. Well,
isn't it amazing how the water has sulfur and yet it smells good and it feels good?
Yeah, it doesn't smell as bad as like when you go to like Yellowstone National Park or something.
Right.
If you've been there. All right, guys, this is some screen share. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Not much action since the last time I did this video, but I believe it worked out exactly like I expected. But let's go and take a look.
Doesn't it always?
No, not always. I kind of missed this big run up, but that's okay. I'll make up for it because I think Bitcoin is in trouble. So what we have right now is this weekly candle. What's today's date? I always forget what day it is. I look at an on my own stream. Day of the week.
Day of the week? I don't even know anymore.
Exactly.
It's all a blur. I'm in so many different times.
Okay. We're Friday.
Thank God.
It's Friday. And then we're in a weird time zone. It's really a weird time zone. It's like 2 or 3 hours off of London, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's really the worst time zone to be in. Anyway, this is a very nasty candle right here. We're currently sitting right at $8,000. It looks like we are very likely to close below the 30-week moving average, and that's bad. This is a complete disaster. The short trade, according to Sequential, activated last week right at 9,800, and we fell quick down to 8. And the longer we consolidate at the lows, the more dangerous it is. Here last night, I warned everyone that if we were to, I expected a bit of a rebound, but when we started to consolidate and it didn't look good. And then the moment we broke 8,300, it was over and we accelerated down to 7,700. Now, potentially this is the low, but it doesn't feel right still to me. And now we're going to have a full candle, potentially with about 12 hours to go. Full candle below the 200-day moving average. And that's how you got a friend coming.
There's a cute dog here. I don't know if it's a clean dog, but it's a cute dog.
There he is. It's a big dog. The stray dogs here are usually pretty friendly. So, camera up here. So right now we're working at a full candle below the 200-day moving average. That's bad. Now we haven't broken the low again, but that's a red 3. We've basically started a new downtrend since this 9. We already had a red 2 going below a red 3 on a daily. I am now looking for the countdown phase. How bad can this countdown phase get? My worst case scenario at the moment is only 5,000. That's my worst case scenario. I still think Bitcoin can rebound from the low 7,000 area. Do I think the bottom is in? I don't. Is it possible that the bottom is in? Yes. The crash has now been 44% from the $14,000 top. And remember, Ugly Old Goat and I talked about a potential of 80% correction. So in that case, we're about halfway there. So then we are looking at that $5,000 area. I have an open bet with, Rand from Crypto Trader?
Yeah.
So
I know of.
No, Rand. So Rand and I made this bet, and if Bitcoin falls below $4,500, he owes me a really expensive steak. We haven't decided yet. I'll see him in South Africa eventually. But But yeah, so we have a bet for a fancy steak. But I made that bet when Bitcoin was like $7,000 or something, like months and months and months ago. And then he was gloating when it went all the way to 13. And he's gonna have to eat it if it actually goes down to 4.5. I don't want it to go down to 4.5. I will be flying airlines that look like they're gonna crash again in the back of the plane. But that's what would happen. So I warned everyone that below this red line, Bitcoin is in danger mode, and the moment it broke that, down we went. I don't like this consolidation. We have now going down. This is the 12-hour chart, looking for another 13 here, looking for another 9 here. This is the arrow. I think we are gonna breach this low. We should have gone back up quicker, and we haven't done that yet. This consolidation at 8,000 is not very encouraging to me. I have to zoom out this 4-hour chart, and we are now on our way to the bottom of this channel. And the bottom of this channel, if we get to it in early October, is sitting just below 6,000. So all roads for me are still pointing lower. I don't like this consolidation. And on this 4-hour chart, we did rebound on not one of those 13s, but we are now sitting on a red 2 going below red 1. I would say if you want to be a little more conservative and you're bullish, you're still okay as long as you're still okay as long as you're above this line. And I mean, everything's just gonna repeat. I'm gonna take this arrow. Like if we go below this line sometime tomorrow, you know, let's not get carried away here. But that's what we're looking at. I'm gonna delete this arrow. Yeah, well, I'm not selling Bitcoin right now. I'm gonna wait and then I'm gonna buy. That's it. I mean, if you want to be nervous, take a look at the graph of Bcash, which is about to head into negative territory here. So one Bcash right now is 2.5% of the value of Bitcoin. Wow. Right. Okay. That's how bad it is. Right. So things have changed. So the Ukrainian currency, which is a country both of us like very much, and Kiev. So I did a show on Bcash's 2-year anniversary, which was August 1st, and I pointed out how the Ukrainian hryvnia was a better store of value than Bitcoin Cash if you bought Bitcoin Cash when it came out.
That's a kind of harsh statement, because as much as we both
which
like
is a true statement.
Yes, I know.
It was a better store of value over the 2 years. The Ukrainian hryvnia held its value against the dollar in those 2 years, and it appreciated like 1% against the US dollar in 2 years. And the Bitcoin Cash lost like 3% against the US dollar in 2 years since its creation. Well, and it's a lot lower now.
You're my guy. So what do you think about the process of looking sort of the yearly low and comparing it on sort of a yearly basis?
I mean, it's okay. It's fine. It's like this like trend line that goes up. It would have been really cool if Bitcoin actually had a higher yearly low every year, but there was one year when it didn't. So it kind of screws up your perfect trend. And we'll see if the low this year, well, the low this year will probably be higher than the low last year, because low last year was only at 3,000, right? Was all the way at 3,000. So I don't think we're going to go lower than that. So it should be good. Low this year, maybe I'll win my bet and it will be $4,400. And then next year's low will be 10,000. Let's all hope. That's it, guys. Traditional markets are about to open. Gold is still going down. This is not good for gold. Gold should have its own buy the dip situation. If gold makes it back to about 1380, the level of the breakout, sometime next year, that could be a good buying opportunity for gold. I think silver is going to be going down big. I would be very cautious on silver. Talked about that with some people last time. Oil has almost closed its gap after the explosion or bombing, who the hell knows, Saudi Arabia. The stock market is hanging in there. Stock market is hanging tight, so that's good. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I'll give you one more look at our scenery. I would say Bitcoin is consolidating. This is a bearish posture. I am leaning bearish for one more leg down here, the same as I did last night. And don't forget, we have the Bali event coming up. I was telling you about it. You like the concept, man?
It's a beautiful idea. I don't think it's been done.
No, it hasn't. And the next one might be in the Caribbean, so maybe we'll get you out there.
Yes.
No real speakers though. It's more like a networking event. And oh, I thought Joe Sass was going to be here. Damn. I think if I refresh this, it'll work. We added Joe Sass's picture. Let me see. TheFinancialSummit.com. It's one of the cool domains. Damn it! I have to clean cache in my laptop. So anyway, check it out. We still have a few seats left. Registration might close next week, as the hotel is kind of filling up. So it's looking like a great event. Check out tonevase.com. We're gonna on Monday, the website is gonna look a little bit different with the menus and stuff. We're gonna make some changes. All right, I'm gonna stop the screen share. I'll give you guys one more look. Reason why we're in robes. We have a. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna walk around for a minute. Let's unmic you.
Very good.
I'm already becoming an expert at this. I'm gonna grab the second mic. It'll be double mic, and I'm gonna take this camera off, and I'll give you guys a better look at the area here because it's great.
George is beautiful.
Oh, George is amazing.
It's amazing. People are nice. It's very. Yeah. Super.
And I'm gonna take the camera, and I'm gonna show you guys what I see. Oh, do a quick walk. Oh wait, let me grab the cords. Put it in my pocket. Yeah, so check us out. So there it is behind me. You see it from the. You saw it in the thumbnail. There it is. There's a very historic bathhouse based on sulfur baths, and you can read. Alexander Pushkin used to come here, and look at what we're on the edge of. We're right on the edge of that, and really cool stuff. And on this side, those more this one is and more historic, and also check that out. I was up there. Really cool stuff. So that's where we are, spending the day here, and then we're gonna go get some food. All right. So another episode of Tone Vase Travels. Talked about Libra. Talked about the price. It's time to go back in. Time to hit the sauna again. Bye, guys.